My thoughts, my opinion. Sports podcast.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of MTMO Sports Podcast, Doug. Yo, y'all already know I'm about to give y'all the dope topics to sit here to talk about that. It's been going through surfing in the sports world, you feel me? So let's go ahead. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals. It's been about 2 weeks now. Let's finally go ahead. Time to get my opinion on this NBA Finals, man. The Suns did a trade, you feel me? And I believe it might work out, but I got some questions about that trade that the Suns did. So we're going to sit here and talk about that. I'm going to also talk about Morant and his suspension. You know, how's that working out for him and how things would affect him in his future. And also, I'm going to be switching over to the NFL. There's a top wide receiver that's looking for a home. Hopefully, he'll come to this home. You feel me? You never know. But enough of all that talk, man. Let's get straight into it. You feel me? Let's go. All right. Let's talk about the NBA Finals. So, let's go ahead and recap and rewind. All right. If you don't know, I'm pretty sure you already know, but if you don't know, the Denver Nuggets are now the NBA champs, you feel me? So shout out to the Denver Nuggets, you feel me? Man, that team right there deserved to win, deserved to be NBA Finals, you feel me? That team showed that they were the better team throughout the regular season and in the playoffs, you feel me? And deserving, man. And like I said, man, big shout out to them, man, because from top to bottom, I believe that the Denver Nuggets was the team to beat. You know, they had good coaching. They had a superstar duo. They had good role players. They had one of the best crowds. You know what I mean? They got good home atmosphere. They had everything going in their favors, you feel me? And that's why they became champs, man. They was able to put everything together, put everything all into one, and finally become champs, you feel me? And let's go ahead and talk about the Joker, Jokic. Right now, I can honestly say on here, on MTMO, that Jokic is the best big man in the NBA right now. There's no comparison. You know, at once upon a time, yes, I was rooting for Joel Embiid. I said Joel Embiid was better than Jokic. That Jokic's ceiling is already capped, that he couldn't get no higher. Jokic proved me wrong. And I'm going to be the first one to say it, man, that he proved me wrong. He showed why that he was the best man. He showed why he was back-to-back MVPs. He showed it. You know what I mean? Now he finally got that finals MVP also solidified. Also to go with him. And that's what he needs. And now the debate is, where do we rank Jokic as the all-time best big man? You know what I mean? Like I said, we already crowned him as number one big man in the NBA today, right now. You know what I mean? And I think there's some space there. Like, I think, of course, there's Embiid right behind him, but I think that Embiid has a ways to catching up. You know what I mean? Now, I previously said that Embiid has him on defense. I think Embiid is a better defender than the Joker. I truly do believe that. But to control the game, to slow the game down and make the game go at his pace, Jokic got that. And you know what's crazy? A lot of these foreign players are slowing the game down into their own pace, like a Luka. Luka is most definitely showing that he can slow the game down. He's not worrying about nobody's speed. And you know the crazy thing about why I got these two on my mind, that Luka and Jokic, they all play underneath the rim. They're not high flyers. You know what I mean? They just know how to play fundamentally sound, and their footwork is just great. They got great footwork. And that's what separates Jokic to me, as far as him and Embiid. Now, for the all-time greats, Jokic can now be in the same conversation as Kareem. He can be in the same conversation with a Hakeem. He can be in the same conversation with a Shaq, a Wilt, a Bill, a David Robinson, a Patrick Ewing. And I guess you can go ahead and throw Tim Duncan name in there also. You can throw Kevin Garnett name in there. There's a lot of big names that you can now fit Jokic in. And I believe that Jokic is probably past some of these guys. I think Jokic can probably surpass Kevin Garnett. You know what I mean? All-time big man. I think that Jokic can probably be up there in the conversation with a Tim Duncan, with a Shaq. You know what I mean? With a King. Because if you sit here and look at it, Jokic is a one-time champ. He's a one-time Finals MVP, 2 times League MVP, and a 5-time All-NBA. Whereas you got Shaq, he's a 4-time champ. He's a 3-time Finals MVP, a 1-time MVP, a 14-time All-NBA, a 3-time scoring All-Defense, and a 2-time scoring champ. I don't think Jokic will ever get that scoring champ. You know what I mean? And I also don't think Jokic will get defensive player. And that's what's going to kind of hold him back from put him in up there with being the best center in ever. You know what I mean? Because of his defense. I don't believe he's going to get defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? And that wouldn't knock him. That wouldn't put him down in the totem pole or make any of these other big men better than him. Because, like I said, we can still put him in the conversation with a Shaq, a Kareem, and a Kareem, and a David Robinson, and Patrick Ewing. I believe that Jokic is better than Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? I believe it so far in his career, because Ewing is a 7-time All-NBA, a 3-time All-Defense, and 11-time All-Star. You know what I mean? We in today's game, Jokic is better. You know what I mean? And that's what solidified. And that's what made the Denver Nuggets be champs this year. It was all because of Jokic. Jokic came to camp already better in shape. It wasn't all that, oh, he's fat, he's lazy, he doesn't do this. Jokic came in the camp different this year. Jokic showed during the playoffs that he was the best big man. He beat it Ayton. He beat a Rudy Gobert. He beat a Karl Anthony Towns. He beat a Anthony Davis. And now he beat a Bam Adebayo. You know what I mean? It was just this. It didn't matter what big man that went up against Jokic. He solidified and showed that he was better big man. Now, I wanted AD to be a better. You know what I mean? It could have played out a little bit better. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Jokic showed it. Now, you know what's crazy, and you know what made Denver to be that team to be was also they have a good dynamic duo. You know what I mean? Finally, Jamal Murray, after, torn his ACL just a year and some change ago, he was able to get back into the game that he loved, get back on a team that wants him, and he was able to beat Jamal Murray. Most definitely once he got into the playoffs. Playoff Murray showed up. And that's what and if you want to win a championship and go deep, you're going to need that second star, that second scorer, that second guy that when things ain't going right with the big guy or the number one guy, that you can lean on and you can bring him out the game. And that's where Jamal Murray kind of did for Jokic. Now, at times, did Jamal Murray disappear? Yes. And I believe in total, I believe that Jamal Murray probably disappeared about 3 games in the playoffs this year. It was like, come on, Jamal Murray, you got to play better. What happened? What's going on? And I think that I'm not going to say he disappeared. I just think that it was his lack of confidence. Confidence wasn't his key. It wasn't his strong point. But he was able to get it done because in the NBA Finals, when him and Jokic teamed up together, they averaged 51.6 points. They averaged 20.2 rebounds. They also averaged 17.2 assists. That's not bad. You know what I mean? Because now we talking about where in the duos do they fit? Do they fit with a Kyrie and a LeBron? Now, LeBron and Kyrie scored 56.8 points a game, 15.2 rebounds a game, and 12.8 assists a game. Now, Kyrie and LeBron got them on the scoring tip, but everything else, it was Jokic and Murray. Now, do we put him up here with the Shaq and Kobe combination now? Shaq and Kobe averaged 63.1 points, 18.1 rebounds, 9.1 assists. Do we put him up there with the MJ and Pittman now? They scored 62.2 points a game, 17.7 rebounds a game, 14 assists a game. You know what I mean? Now, Magic and Kareem. Did we put them in there? You know what I mean? It's a lot of duos that we can compare them to. But I'm not going to compare those two because, you know, except for the Kyrie and the LeBron, you know what the other duos have? Multiple championships. Multiple championship appearances. You know what I mean? And, you know, like I said, multiple championships. So it's I'm not going to say that they're the best duo. You know, right? In my opinion, they will come number 3. I will, of course, you got to put MJ and Scottie because they did 2 3-peats. You know what I mean? 6 titles in total. Of course, I'm not going to put them up in the Shaq and Kobe because they have a 3-peat. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know what I mean? And you can go ahead and slide them right there behind Shaq and Kobe. Because the only thing about Kyrie and LeBron, yes, they got multiple appearances in the finals, but they only got that 1 title. So we can go ahead and put them up there with the Kyrie and the LeBron. You know what I mean? They will slide back to number 4, in my opinion. But for the best duo right now in the NBA, right now, it's Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Best duo right now. You know what I mean? And if these guys can stay healthy and things go right, man, this can be a scary duo. Do I see Denver running it back next year? It's a strong possibility. If they can keep some of that team, that core together, you know, we already know, I believe that their starting 5 is pretty much coming back. But now you got to worry about the bench and that depth. And that's what separate the Denver Nuggets was their depth, was their bench. You know what I mean? Because they came across good coaching. You know, they played against they coached against a Donovan Ham. They coached against the Monty Williams. They got coached against Eric Spoelstra in the finals. So it shows that Mike Malone is a good coach and he's able to coach against the elite. But you know what I mean, now we can see how that depth and that bench can things hold up for them. You know what I mean? That's what it's going to have to come down to. And I think that's what's going to separate the Denver Nuggets from the rest of the Western Conference and the rest of the NBA period. It's just that depth of that bench, you feel me? Let's get to the Heat real quick. In my opinion, I think the Heat was undermatched. I don't think that nothing that the Nuggets was able to show them, the Heat didn't have no answer. You know what I mean? No disrespect to those guys and those undrafted players. But it's the reason why those guys didn't get drafted. Now, it's the reason why those guys in the NBA, they did their job. They did everything they were supposed to do. You know what I mean? They was able to be on point with the spot up shooting, was able to follow the zone that Eric Spoelstra was able to put on teams at times. They was able to fight their way in cracks and claw throughout their whole playoffs. And then it just, when they came to the Nuggets, they was outsized. They didn't have enough star power. The only thing that was really going to get them through was Eric Spoelstra. And about that is, I hate to say this, but I know a lot of people probably is going to kind of slander me a little bit. Not too much, but real recognize real. Jimmy Butler is not a true number 1, in my opinion. He's a great option. He's a strong number 2, but I don't think that Jimmy Butler is a true number one offensive threat. Now don't get me wrong, Jimmy Butler was the reason why the Heat got there. You know what I mean? Let's make that clear and let's make that known. He is the reason why the Heat got there. He is the reason why the Heat is even relevant, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But I just don't think that Jimmy Butler is that guy that can get you over the top. I know. A lot of people is probably going to be like, but Jimmy, he mastered. He able to do something. Yes, he did master of coasting through the regular season. And then when it's time to be in the playoffs, flick that switch. He did that. But the only thing about it is when he flicked that switch, man, he was in so much of a go mode from the play-in to all the way to the finals. He was gassed out. And I think that's what another superstar can come in and help Jimmy. And that's why I said that Jimmy is not a true legit number one in my opinion. Now, can Jimmy go? Jimmy can win. Jimmy can get buckets. Jimmy can give you everything that a number one scorer can give you in the NBA. But the thing about it is was that killed me about Jimmy was once he got 2 feet in the paint, man, it was everybody just standing at the 3-point line. Nobody was really cutting anymore. Nobody was slashing. Nobody was looking to get open. It was just once Jimmy got his 2 feet in, it was just like he was looking. And that's where I believe that a strong, solid number one would have came in and helped the Heat out. You know, somebody that was able to create their own buckets, somebody that can get their own buckets without Jimmy assisting them all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, Bam Adebayo played one hell of his finals. You know what I mean? Bam showed me something. Bam showed me that he has heart potential, that he should be maybe talked about as a top 10 to 15 big man in this league. Now, I'm pretty sure that Bam can probably go a little bit higher. But Bam, the potential that he showed in that final, it shows that Bam has something to prove, man. And he has something to give to this game. Because he went out there and he battled and he's fighting and he clawed and he did everything he possibly could do against Jokic. In my opinion, that Bam did better than any big man that played Jokic in the playoffs. Now, the only thing about it was, you know, Bam was undersized. Bam is 6'9" versus Jokic is what? Probably just hitting 7 foot. But I think Jokic probably have about 30 to 50 pounds over top of Bam. Bam is a little bit more athletic. Bam was able to make Jokic play defense and make Jokic move at times. Bam little elbow jumper was on point. But it was just that Bam is not your number two. And this is where I think that if Miami would have had somebody else that can get their own bucket, it would have gave Denver a different fight, a different outcome. Now, I don't think that Miami would have won the championship. The only way Miami would have beat Denver if they would have took Denver all the way to 7 games. But with their power that they have on their roster, it's just wasn't enough. Just wasn't strong enough, in my opinion. And there's no disrespect to the Heat because I believe that the Heat, if things gonna have to change. You know what I mean? I believe that you can keep some of these undrafted players, but you're gonna have to find a way to bring some more star power down there with Jimmy. I believe that if you can get a true point guard, no disrespect to Kyle Lowry, but I think Kyle Lowry time is up. No disrespect to Gabe Vincent, but I don't think he's a starting point guard in this league. He's a good shooter. Can he run the offense? Yes. But I think that he will be more effective coming off the bench. But I also think that Gabe Vincent got payday. He made payday for himself. What he did in his playoffs, I think a lot of teams probably going to go out there and try to bid for him. And Miami going to have to make some decisions on do they either try to bid for him or did they let him go? But then if you let him go, you still in search of another point guard. And I heard they were trying to get Dame. But now that the Blazers shut the door on the trade rumors, because I think the Blazers might got a trick up their sleeve coming. You know, but we shall see. But the Miami Heat most definitely have to find another way to get another star down there with Jimmy. As long as they have Jimmy and Jimmy can do the things that Jimmy do, you have to get another star power down there. Or at least more star power down there. Like I said, Bam is a consistent player. Bam can do his thing. But what I think about Bam is he needs help too. You know what I mean? He's undersized. He's an undersized big man. So if Miami can just do some of those things, man, we might be having the same conversation next year. You know what I mean? That Miami's back in the finals. But just remember, just last year, this is the same conversation we had about the Miami Heat. That they don't have enough star power. Jimmy is not enough. You know, so that's it about the NBA Finals, man. And like I said, shout out to them. Shout out to the Miami Heat also. Shout out to both teams for making it to the finals, showing that they are the better teams this year. Now we're going to have to crown Jokic as being the best player in the league right now. There's no other question about it. Next year, I'm pretty sure he's going to be already number one in the votes of for MVP. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be there. But right now, Jokic is the king of NBA right now. So let's go ahead and crown him. You feel me? All right. Let's go ahead and switch it up. Let's go ahead and switch it to a team that the Nuggets beat in the playoffs. Let's go ahead and switch it up to the Suns because they got a new player. Let's go. All right, man. Bradley Beal and the Phoenix Suns are one now. You know what I mean? But the Phoenix Suns has traded a Whopper Jr. with no cheese just to get Bradley Beal.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
It's like, can you believe that the Washington Wizards really gave up Bradley Beal pretty much for nothing? You know what I mean? And what did this mean for the Washington Wizards? One, I think the Wizards are in a truly rebuild stage because I'm pretty sure Kyle Kuzma is not coming back. I see that they traded Porzingis also. I'm pretty sure they're going to start slashing the rest of their players on that roster. You feel me? So it's just like I'm not understanding what the Wizards are doing and why the Wizards are doing this. But I can tell you one thing, that the Wizards, they will not be making it to the playoffs next year. I most definitely can tell you that. But for the Phoenix Suns, man, that is a big move. That is the blockbuster trade that they did, man. And to get to get Bradley Beal is a big move. But now my only question is about the Phoenix Suns of getting Bradley Beal is, who's your point guard? And you bring in another guard that plays just like the guard that you already have. You know what I mean? But before we get deep into it, let's talk about Bradley Beal. What did Bradley Beal brings to the Phoenix Suns? Number one, Bradley Beal brings, last year he played 50 games. So I can tell you right now, he's not, if he continue to just play 50 games and not be healthy, what are you bringing him over for? That's my only downside about Bradley Beal. One of my favorite two guards in the league. But the thing about Bradley Beal is that he's not always available. You know what I mean? Especially when it gets down to the end of the season, man, he's always unavailable. So his availability is most definitely I'm gonna have to see. But he played 50 games last year, and in those 50 games, he played 33 and a half minutes. He scored 23.2 points a game, and he averaged 5.4 assists. Not a guard. Not a point guard. He can most definitely come down, handle the rock, distribute the rock. He can set the offense up and all that good stuff. But that's also what Devin Booker can do, because Devin Booker is about the same type of player. Now, points wise and being scary on paper, man, the Phoenix Suns look like that. But that's what we said that when Kevin Durant got there. You know what I mean? That the Suns was automatically going to be in the finals, that the Suns was a better team, the scary team, and all that. But you know what, the one thing we all said about the Phoenix Suns last year in the finals, in the playoffs, and when they made that trade, where's your depth coming from? Now that you pretty much moving on from CP3, you're now bringing Campaign as your starting point guard, maybe. Do you really have faith in Campaign being your guy, being your point guard that can set this up? Then you have Landry Shamet, who was just your shooting. You know what I mean? He's your only guy on the bench, probably. So it's, and then what else do we have? They also have TJ Warren, who they didn't really use last year once they got him on the roster. So where's the depth coming from? Where's some of these players that you're looking to get? And not to mention the coach that you signed during the offseason also. You signed Frank Vogel. Now, don't get me wrong. Frank Vogel, decent coach. I believe that Frank Vogel can lead you to a team that can get you to the finals. He got the Lakers to a finals. I know a lot of people got a little asterisk across it and all that good stuff, but he can lead the team to a finals. The thing about sometimes about Frank Vogel, in my opinion, is that Frank Vogel, he doesn't put the right lineup in. You know what I mean? And I understand that what the Lakers did and they tried to do with the whole Russell Wilson thing, but Frank Vogel, I don't think he's aggressive enough, coach. You know what I mean? I don't think that Frank Vogel can give you that oomph of a coach. You know what I mean? Like I said, he can call good plays. He can organize a good team. But when it comes to in-game decisions, when it comes to in-game adjustments, I think that's where Frank Vogel kind of laps in. You know what I mean? That's where I think Frank Vogel need to step it up just a little bit. You know what I mean? But and all in all, Frank Vogel, like I said, is still a good coach. But now you got 4 players. And not to mention with these 4 players, your roster salary is now tied up to $163 million between 4 players. Remember, you just signed Ayton to that big deal last year. You just got Kevin Durant. You also signed Booker not too long ago to a nice deal. And then you know what Bradley Beal is bringing over from the Washington Wizards. All that combined is $163 million. Now, don't get me wrong. It shows that the Suns own it. He got that bread. My, oh my. He got that bread. But you keep on bringing all these high-powered stars, man, but you're not building a bench. You're not building a championship roster, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It looks good to have all this star power to be scary on paper, to have people like, oh, how are we going to stop this? But the thing about it is, I believe they can all play under a system. But they all ISO players. You know, Bradley Beal is an ISO player. Now, Bradley Beal can go in the corner. He can slash and all that. But like I said before, him and Devin Booker are just like the same type of player. Who's going to play? Who's going to take a backseat to what? You know what I mean? Because like I said, Bradley Beal was already averaging 23 with the Wizards. So do he got to go back into the 20s, like into like 20, 21? Devin Booker was easily averaging about 25 to 26. Do he got to take a step back onto that? KD was also averaging over 26. Do he got to take a step back in points wise? You know what I mean? It's just like a lot of, and then DeAndre Ayton. I understand DeAndre Ayton is not even really aggressive on the offensive end. But if he's not going to take a back seat and being that rim defender and that big guy that can grab you rebounds and anything of that nature, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We are talking. What I'm saying here is saying that Phoenix Suns. I don't think that adding Bradley Beal is going to make you a championship team. I just don't think so. I just think that it's going to make you the same team that you were this year, in my opinion. I just think that you're not going to be a championship team. You're going to have to build. I just think that you're doing what the Lakers had did a couple years ago when we were trying to bring Russ and LeBron and AD, and you bring Melo. I just think that's what the Suns are doing. And like I said, it's early. You know what I mean? The NBA season just wrapped up. It's early. And the good thing about this trade that it happened during the offseason. So Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Ayton, Durant can all link up, cheer up, get their hanging together, try to figure this out. You know what I mean? And let me also say this. Let me get this off my chest also. A lot of people is blaming Kevin Durant. Are saying, oh, Kevin Durant is going around building super teams. Kevin Durant is the reason. Kevin Durant ain't the guy I'm pretty sure he's not going upstairs and to the owners to say, get me this person, I need this. I don't believe that's him. You know what I mean? Is he having maybe side conversations? Maybe, I don't know. You know, but I'm not going to say that Kevin Durant is out here building super teams. Kevin Durant is not doing what LeBron James did in Miami. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's what he's doing. I don't think he's out here recruiting anything in that nature. We already know once Kevin Durant is on social media, he's attacking either refs or fans. He's not really recruiting. So, you know what I mean? I just think that the Suns and this Bradley Beal situation is just this trade. Not going to say situation. It's just a little confusing right now. I just got to see how it's going to pan out, how it's going to work, and you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to see this work also. You know what I mean? Because if this don't work, then what? Where do we go at from here, Phoenix? You know what I mean? What if this team doesn't pan out to what you want it to be? Where do we go at from there? You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about the situation. Good move. I like it. But I just can't really fully agree to it right now. You feel me? All right. Let's go ahead and switch this up, man. Let's go ahead and switch it to Ja Morant and his suspension. You feel me? And, you know, once upon a time, I said I wasn't going to talk about this whole Ja Morant suspension. I was just going to let it be. But I have to talk about it for the simple fact that the way that Adam Silver made this suspension, you know, during the finals, he said him and Malika Andrews had like a little 2-minute press conference, pretty much. You know what I mean? And they was asking about Ja Morant and the investigation about is it going to lead us to any suspension time? And the way Adam Silver answered the question is, with all the new details that we are getting in this investigation, we will not announce Ja Morant's suspension during NBA Finals. We will wait until the finals is over, and we will hand out his punishment. And it had everybody. Everybody's like, oh man, Adam Silver about to put the hammer on this guy. It's over. You know what I mean? I think he's about to get half the season, if not all the season. And then Adam Silver came down and just handed him a 25-game suspension. Yep. 25 games. Now, don't get me wrong. It is 25 games without pay. It's 25 games that he can't be with the team. It is 25 games that the Memphis Grizzlies going to have to figure it out without their franchise player, their superstar. These 25 games also is going to hurt Ja Morant's chances of winning any awards, really. He's not going to be able to be in the MVP race, comeback player, or any of those type of awards. So that's okay. That's hitting them a little bit, but in my opinion, Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA, why so light? I understand. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, he didn't do nothing criminal. He didn't. Like, come on, dog. The only way that we can get people to understand is to understand. And it's to hit him where it hurts. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he should be banned from the NBA. I'm not saying that he should have been suspended the whole year. I'm not saying that kick a man while he's down. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that I know a lot of people don't like this comparison, but how is it that it is okay that Kyrie can make a tweet, retweet a link or anything of that nature, and it was like, oh no, we done with you? And I understand people was talking about his previous stuff of what he's saying about the vaccination and all that, but that's his opinion. We can't get mad of a guy of his opinion. Flip it to now to Ja Morant. He said, I will do better. I won't make this mistake again or anything in this nature. But he turned right around and did it again. And people was like, "Oh, we shouldn't strip him from." Why not? You know what I mean? Why not strip him from what he worked so hard to get? You got to take something from the guy. 25 games is just not enough, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm a fan of Ja. I believe that Ja can be the guy. I believe that Ja can win an MVP in this league. I believe that Ja can pretty much almost be the face of this league. You know what I mean? And not that I can go even deeper about this. That honestly, that Ja is almost my son's favorite basketball player. I done said this multiple times that my sons came to me and asked me what's going to happen to Ja. If Ja going to get kicked out the league, if Ja would get kicked out the league, what would he do, Daddy? And it's like it's hard to talk about certain things about that because when your kids idolize and look up to something, look up to a person, it's hard to take them away from that person. Because once upon a time, one of my sons was a Steph Curry fan. I diehard Steph. He's still a Steph Curry fan. I'm pretty sure he would choose Curry over anybody. But the appearance, my son has dreads. Ja has dreads. My son likes basketball. Ja likes basketball too. We all just starting to see that Ja like guns. And most kids with these Orby guns, these new water guns, these Nerf guns and stuff like that, kids kind of like guns too. You know what I mean? So people was like, why are we trying to be so down and why are we trying to punish Ja? It's because, my guy, in this black culture, in this African-American community, guns are not in our favors. And I understand it, yes, if you have a legal registered pistol, yes, by all means, you can carry. You got a concealed carry permit and all that. You can carry it with you. By all means, yes. By all means, that's your amendment. That's your right. You know what I mean? Do your thing. But the way that you're portraying it, you know what I mean? The way you out here, you're not setting a good example for kids. You're not setting a good example for black kids. You know what I mean? You know, you don't want kids to go out here and start waving guns on their social media platforms, on live. You know what I mean? That's where it hurts us in the community as black folks. It hurts us that, you know what I mean, that number one is sometimes we gotta glorify the wrong things. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be putting Ja on every news thing all because he waved the gun on live. We shouldn't have to do that. But the thing is, to make a person understand is we got to sit here and kind of tarnish him a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I said, I am all Ja. You know what I mean? One of my favorite players. But the perception, that's the word right there. It's the perception. They already perceive that you are ignorant, uneducated. You got that because all black kids play sports. That's all we good for, stuff like that. That's the stereotype that, you know what I mean, we're trying to drive away from. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you're illegal, you are legal to carry guns in state to state or whatever the situation is while you in your vehicles. By all means, do your thing. Protect yourself. You know what I mean? Because to this day, we all say if Sean Taylor would have had a gun, if he would have found a way to protect himself, he still would have been alive. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Ja, man, you just got to cool out, man. You got to know your surroundings. You got to know where you at. You got to know what not to do, man. Like I said, it's kids out here. My kids in particular are out here looking up to you. It's my kid with that same hairstyle that you have in the game. It's my son that's putting his hair in that same type of ponytail into that style because they look up to you. They idolize you. They want to be you. Every kid would love to be in Ja Morant's shoes right now. So that's why I feel like this is why it kind of makes me upset about Ja. like I said, what he's doing is just not cool, man. It's just not cool. And a lot of people want to compare him like Chris Kaman. How come Chris Kaman, he took pictures of guns? Because number one, back in Chris Kaman day, social media was not strong. Video phones, pictures and stuff like that was not that strong. If you can hide it, you can tuck it, you won't know about it. You feel me? Versus what we glorify now, everybody's on social media. Everybody wants to get on live. Everybody wants to do something that they shouldn't. They're not supposed to be doing, but they do it anyway. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, I'm not down in Ja because what he did, he should be punished. That's not the main reason why I say the punishment wasn't strong enough. I'm saying that the punishment wasn't strong enough for the simple fact that, number one, you disrespect the commissioner. You slapped me in the face. You said you're not going to do it, and you turn around and do it anyway. And then you turn around and do it almost the exact way, the same exact way. My fault. Like, dog, stay off of social media for a minute. Then what he's doing now? He's staying off social media. He's not living that social media life. And also, man, where's his PR team? Where's his support team to be like, yo, don't do this, yo, don't do that? You feel me? So it's just like a lot of things that Ja is going to have to correct just a little bit. It's not a lot. Just a small taste of things what not to do, what to do, and he will be fine. I believe that Ja will be back to where he belongs, where he was, on top, as the top point guard, one of the top point guards in this league. He just got to slow things down, calm things down, and do what's best for him. Not what's cool for him, but what's best for him. You know what I mean? And Adam Silver, let's talk about you for a couple seconds. I believe if David Stern was the commissioner, man, I believe that the punishment that we all was looking for, Ja would have got. Adam Silver, I believe that sometimes you too buddy with some of these players. Be too cool with them. You let things slide underneath the rug. You let things just go too easily. I'm not saying that you got to be a dickhead commissioner, but I'm saying that you got to set the precedent. You have to set the standard of something. You can't keep letting these players just say one thing and then do another thing, and you just be like, we're going to slap you on the wrist. It's like, nah. You know what I mean? I understand that it's the players' league, but you gotta be able to. If these guys can come up here and shake your hand and say, "Oh, what's up? I'm so glad." Bop. And if they can come and look you in the eye, man to man, and say, "Man, my fault, my bad. I shouldn't have did this." You know, and then you turn around and did it anyway. He slaps you in the face. You know what I mean? I understand that Martin Luther King was saying, "Turn the other cheek." But this the one time I don't think that you should have turned the cheek on this one. In my opinion, I think that Josh should at least got about 40-something games. About 41 games. Not 25. I think he should have got 41. That'd have been half the season. I think that would have I think it would have woke up. That would have woke him up. So now with this lead for the Memphis Grizzlies, and then this leads to Memphis they already shown that they can still be a good team without Ja Morant. You feel me? They already showing that they got a good head coach also. So it's just like things can look up, but it's like once the 25 games are over, do you insert him right back into the start lineup? Do you wing him and do you start slow processing him? How do you do this? And then how do you know for sure that he's taking the right route? He's no longer going to do that BS he normally do. You know what I mean? So it's just a couple of things that have to be answered by the Memphis Grizzlies for the NBA and from the fan standpoint. I'm banking that Ja will get better. I'm hoping that he will get better. I believe that Ja will turn things around, like I said in the beginning. He will turn things around, and I believe that he's gonna He's going to get back to the place there where he should be. Pretty much said, you feel me? So, Ja, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope for nothing but the best. Can't wait to see you in this season coming up. Yeah, that is pretty much it. As I go ahead and switch it over to the NFL. Deandre Hopkins and the Arizona Cardinals had now split ways. I think the Arizona Cardinals are dumb for doing this, but you know what I mean. It's a business decision. It's for cap reasons, and they felt like DeAndre Hopkins was sitting there holding up a lot of cap, and it wasn't doing them no good. So now DeAndre Hopkins is out here. You feel me? He is out here, and with DeAndre Hopkins being out here, man, let's give out some of his stats real quick. You feel me? DeAndre Hopkins is set to make $15.9 million next year, and it doesn't really pose cap friendly to a lot of teams. He's also what else did D Hop? And he had a 6-game suspension last year for performance enhancement policy. They felt like he took a drug that violated the protocol for the NFL. And with all that being said, I still believe that D-Hop is still a top wide receiver in this game. I still believe that D-Hop is a top 10. I still believe he's a top 10 wide receiver in this game. You feel me? And I think whatever team that gets D-Hop is going to be lucky to have him. And he already came out with a tweet that says that whatever wide receiver room he joins, he's going to make the wide receiver room job easier. And I truly do believe that. I still believe that DeAndre Hopkins got a lot of game left. I still believe that DeAndre Hopkins can be a number one wide receiver in the game. Excuse me. I believe that DeAndre Hopkins, whatever team he goes to, he will make them a winning organization, depending on the organization. I'm trying to pull up his stats real quick. But as far as his receiving hand, as far as his hands, I believe he has one of the best hands in the NFL. He already showed you that when it's time for jump ball or when it's time for one-on-one, DeAndre Hopkins was able to most definitely show that he's that guy. You feel me? And I just believe that whatever team that he goes to, and I'm about to give y'all a list of teams that he can go to, and the list of teams that I believe that he can change. But in his minimal games last year, he only played 9 games last year, and in those 9 games, he had 64 receptions. He was targeted 96 times. He had 717 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He was averaging 11.2 yards a catch. And that's when he says that he can make any he can make the wide receiver room and the wide receiver jobs very easy. Just for the simple fact that of 9 games, he was still close to 1,000 yards. He was only 200 and some odd yards away from catching for getting 1,000 yards. He was about 30-something receptions away of getting 100 receptions. So that we can just imagine if he would have played a full season, man, D-Hop would have been probably been the top 5 wide receiver in this game. You know what I mean? As far as stats wise, you know what I mean? I believe he can be he's in the top 5. I believe he is. But before I get down, and we're gonna talk about that. But the teams I feel that D-Hop should go to is the Bills. Why? Why the Bills? Because right now they having problems with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs feel like that he should be having more input when it comes to calling plays. And rightfully so, I don't think that he should be calling all the plays, but I think he should should be in some decision making when it comes to some of those plays. And they have good quarterback there too. And then he don't have to be number one because you already got Stephon Diggs. You already have Gabe Davis. So if you just slide in DeAndre Hopkins, that's a scary three. That's a scary three top wide receivers. The Chiefs, even though the Chiefs really don't need him, but if he wound up going to the Chiefs, oh my goodness. Patrick Mahomes already showed you what he can do without Tyreek Holmes. Now you add a D-Hop with a Travis Kelce. Man, that is scary hours. That will automatically put the Chiefs in the front runner to be in the Super Bowl next year. I can just imagine. I can just imagine that. You feel me? What about my Ravens? We was already kind of linked up to him about that. So just imagine if he can come to that wide receiver room with the OBJ, Zay Flowers, Rashard Bateman, and Nelson Outlaw, and with a Mark Andrews. My Ravens can be scary. With a Lamar Jackson with that nice contract that he got. With Todd Monken with this new offensive scheme that he's putting in with his Ravens, can be scary hours if DeAndre Hopkins can come to Baltimore. You feel me? Another team, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I understand that they already have a lot of high-powered tools there. They already got a Debo. They already have a CMC. They got a George Kittle. Now, the only thing they might have a little problem is who's going to be their quarterback. That's like the only concern. But right now, they saying that Brock Purdy, and if Brock Purdy can play how he played last year, I think that would be a good move for D-Hop. They're still in contention of winning for going to the playoffs. They're still in contention of being a Super Bowl team. Because remember, the San Francisco 49ers were just a quarterback away, in my opinion, for being in the Super Bowl. So, out of all those teams, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the 49ers are all championship contenders, who I believe that D-Hop can probably get them over the hump. You know what I mean? Except for the Chiefs. You know, the Chiefs, there's no reason to doubt the Chiefs anymore. The Chiefs, who they are, doesn't matter who they put on their wide receiver core, man. I think that Patrick Mahomes can get it done. Two wildcard teams that I can just think of off the top of my head who I think that D-Hop can benefit from. The Las Vegas Raiders. I think with a team up with him and Devontae Adams and the Winter Renfro, that can be a scary combination. Now they did lose Darren Waller, their tight end. They do have Jimmy G as their quarterback, who's coming back off an injury from last year. So that's like my only downfall about the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders is their quarterback play. You know what I mean? So, but just imagine Devontae Adams and the D-Hop with a Josh Jacobs in the backfield. That's a scary team to come out the AFC West. The New Orleans Saints is another team that we can also kind of think of. With them getting Derek Carr, having a decent quarterback, we not sure about Malcolm Thomas. You know what I mean? So the New Orleans Saints can benefit of D-Hop going down there. I believe that D-Hop can change some things, can help the Saints be down there. You know, they can get an Alvin Kamara. We don't know what Alvin Kamara in this situation is going to be like. It's just those teams right there I can see that D-Hop could potentially go to and maybe win a championship. I understand he visit New England, but I don't think New England is a championship contender. You feel me? You see that he visit Tennessee. I don't think that Tennessee is a championship contender team. Who else? I think that's so far. But another team that just popped in my mind, maybe the New York Jets. Maybe the New York Jets can benefit of getting a D-Hop. They got Aaron Rodgers over there. They need some true number one wide receivers up there. You feel me? I believe that D-Hop can help up in New York. Wow, I didn't even think of that. The Jets will be a good team. for D Hop to go to. You know what I mean? I don't know championship right now. I don't really see that. But they can most definitely be the second best team in the AFC East though. I believe they can if they can get a D Hop, you can kind of put them over top of the Miami Dolphins. So that's a good fit, man. Now that I sat here and thought about it, you feel me? Also another free agent that's out there, man, is Dalvin Cook. And Dalvin Cook said if him and D Hop can team up, man, they can be a scary team. And the only two teams that I can really kind of think of Dalvin Cook and D Hop being on the same team is maybe the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints. The Buffalo Bills, he can have a chance to go up there and play with his brother also in the backfield. But I don't know if Buffalo really want to spend all that money on two players. So you know that can kind of hinder Buffalo. It's the Catwise and the New Orleans Saints. It's another team maybe that they can link up and go down there. Don't know the situation of Alvin Kamara, but if Alvin Kamara doesn't work out down there, hey, maybe they can get a Dalvin Cook, or they can just go ahead and bring a Dalvin Cook down there and they can have a 1-2 punch, and you still try to bring a D Hop down there. That team can be very scary. You have all three of them down there. So you know what I mean, and you know I wasn't gonna really talk about Dalvin Cook, but why he's fresh in the mind, man. Somebody need to go out here and get him. These running backs it's a couple running backs out here that I believe that can give you that firepower that you need from a running back standpoint. And I think Dalvin Cook is that guy. So, you know, as I sit here, wrap this episode up, I believe that those are two places off top of my head that I can see that Dalvin Cook and D Hop can potentially play together. Another team that D Hop could have benefit from, but I'm pretty sure the salary cap is kind of hitting them. I know Locked In Sports, y'all gonna like this, but the Dallas Cowboys. That almost definitely helped Dak Prescott out. You know what I mean? If you can have a D Hop, a CeeDee Lamb, oof. You know what I mean? And that we can finally try to ask some questions about that. Is he the guy? Can he be that guy? But I don't think he is that guy. I think that Dallas is another conversation, another time. I'm not going to do that. But D Hop, if there's the chance of him going down to Dallas, would be a good move for him also. So as I'm wrapping this episode up, man, I appreciate y'all as always, man, for tuning in and sharing and letting people know about MTMO Sports Podcast, man. And for y'all doing that, man, I have a couple of special announcements. You feel you always know, man. I gotta hook y'all up with some announcements. My first announcement, I would like to say this year on MTMO anniversary, August 3rd, MTMO will be a live show now. You feel me? Come August 3rd, I will be going live here on Thursdays. You feel me? So I'm still trying to get some of the stuff that how I want to do it, but so far it's going to be every other Thursday that I go live. You feel me? So be prepared. The time is still trying to figure that out also. But you know, anniversary, big things. You gotta do some big things. You feel me? What else news that I have that I want to tell y'all? I don't know. I can't really think of it right now. But when I do, I most definitely will share it for y'all. But make sure y'all go ahead and put that on the calendar. Mark that down. That August 3rd, my first official live show. You feel me? Can't wait. Got some dope topics to talk about. You already know I give it to y'all. But as I'm sitting here wrapping this episode up, man, I believe that was all the little gifts that I had for right now, all the announcements. But as of right now, make sure y'all go ahead and tell a friend who can possibly be a friend, who want to be a friend, that MTMO Sports Podcast is out here, still thriving, still knocking down doors. You feel me? Make sure y'all go out here and come follow my road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. You feel me? Help me out. I'm trying to get there. You feel me? Make sure y'all go ahead and tell them that MTMO_sports podcast is where you want to go find MTMO at. You feel me? And for all my audio listeners out here, all you got to do is go follow the Gryd. The link is in the bio. It's going to take you straight to wherever the audio you want to listen to. You feel me? Whether you want to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything in that nature. It's all under the Gryd. You feel me? So make sure y'all follow the Gryd network because we is out here working. We got great shows. You feel me? As I'm saying, talk about great shows that's on the Gryd. Make sure y'all go follow my other podcast, At the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast. Episode 7 is out right now, the wide receiver room, as I give my details on what's going on with the wide receiver room. You feel me? Episode 8 is getting ready to drop this upcoming Saturday. You feel me? It's going to be talking about J.K. Dobbins and his frustration with his contract situation. You feel me? And hopefully things can turn out. But make sure y'all tune into that. Make sure y'all tune into Clutch Sports. Make sure y'all tune into Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. Make sure y'all, just follow the network. You know what I mean? Just follow the network. I guarantee you it's going to give y'all what y'all been looking for. Make sure y'all go out here and follow my favorite ladies, Locked In Sports. Make sure y'all go follow them. They should be on episode 15. You feel me? Maybe a little higher, maybe. I think they on episode 15, if I'm not mistaken. But to prove me wrong, just make sure y'all go out there and check out my favorite ladies. They always got the dope content as always. You feel me? Make sure y'all go check out my guy, Rod Uncensored Podcast. You know what I mean? The funny guy. He's a funny guy. Make sure y'all go check him out. Make sure y'all go check out. It was somebody else I want to give a shout out to. Oh, they're gonna be mad. Oh man, I apologize if I left you out, but make sure y'all go follow those two podcasts, Locked In Sports and Raw Uncensored. Make sure you follow the Gryd Network as we just out here grinding with Clutch Sports, Commanders on Demand. Like I said, Carving It Up with Bryson. At the Bank, and of course yours truly, MTMO. You feel me? Just make sure y'all go just follow the Gryd, man, and make sure y'all go out here support the brand. You know what I mean? Go out there and get y'all clothing apparel. Make sure y'all get your hats, your shirts, your sweatshirts, whatever it is that you want, your phone cases. Make sure y'all go and just get it. You feel me? And as always, man, as I leave this episode, man, I appreciate y'all, and always check me out. I'm out.